how was last year for you? And all the goals and the aspirations and the plans that you had, how many of those actually came into fruition? I was having a look back through all of my best intentions that I set for 2018, and actually it came down to about 3 of them that I managed to fully complete or stay consistent with. And it made me really think, what is the one thing that stops me fulfilling those plans, those aspirations and those goals? And here's today's big question: what is it that stops you from fulfilling those various goals? First of all, write down 3 or 4 things that you really wanted to achieve last year that you haven't achieved. Now, have another look and think, what were the key things that stopped that happening? So for me, I know that when I stopped monitoring my daily food intake and my exercise, my weight went up. And then when I started monitoring it again, it came back down. So for me, a key thing is monitor. When you monitor stuff, it gets done, it gets achieved. Another thing was being consistent. So consistently doing something rather than going to excess this month and then nothing the next month. So I call that moderation. So that's my 2 first key words for this year: monitor, moderation. And then the key to all of this is to actually do something, to do something about it, which is to move. And that's it for me this year: to monitor, to do things in moderation and consistently, and also to actually move. So what was it that stopped your year being as successful as it could have been? And I would pretty much guarantee that somewhere along the lines there will be elements of it wasn't monitored, we either were fully enthusiastic or had no enthusiasm, or just didn't get around to getting it done. So have a look again at those goals, that your best intentions that you've set out for this year, and figure out actually what is it that I need to do to make them happen. Because the thing is, it's not actually doing the monitoring and it's not actually doing the job or the goal or the activity that's the hard thing. It's remembering to monitor. That's the hardest thing. And it's all these small things, when they're brought together, that will enable you to be successful and to achieve those goals. And so by setting something so small that you can't fail at it, I'm going to monitor my intake and my energy expenditure each day. I'm going to monitor my financial expenditure each day. Or I'm just going to make sure that I check in and write down what I'm glad for each day. They may be it. And then you're adopting to the principles of this: mini habits. And in mini habits, Stephen Guise outlines that if you can commit to doing something so small each day that you cannot fail at it, you will then be inspired to do more and more and more. A great tip that I had given to me from a really good friend, Chris Marr, up in Scotland, was to write down a letter to yourself now, as if it's the end of the year, as if it's the 31st of December, and you're writing down all the things that you've achieved and how good it was. And so this year need be no more complicated than that. Keep monitoring, keep doing stuff that's going to keep it refreshed, those small mini habits, and then write that letter to yourself telling you how successful you were, how well you did, and how good you feel.